This little plum tree's been here a long time. It's almost on its last legs. It has set a few plums. This particular plum has a tendency to not really ripen well on the tree. They just never seem to get soft. And by the time they get soft, all the little squirrels and birds get them. But I'll back up here so you can see that it's on its last legs. I left that one branch up there because I just thought that it looked like it was still alive, but it's obvious I'm going to have to take it out. But there are a few plums. This is cleanup and weed day. Except for a few hydrangea old blossoms on the top, this whole container is full of weeds. Onions and everything. I've been down on my hands and knees today digging them out. You can't just snap them off at the top. If you don't get the whole onion out of there that's in the ground, it'll just keep coming back up. Our ever-blooming hydrangeas look pretty healthy. They're setting their flowers. If you want your hydrangeas to be blue, you need to start acidifying them with like azalea fertilizer, and they'll be blue instead of pinkish. They've probably been in here about 6 or 7 years. This is a plum tree we have on the south side of the cottage. You can see that it set some serious figs. This is a very large fig and the birds love them. It's rare for us to get them. Even the large birds. You can hear a crow behind me. We have 6 crows that live together down there. They got hatched 8 years ago, and I think the females went somewhere else and the males stayed here, and they've all found mates, and they gang and run around, and they can come in here and clean out this fig tree pretty quick. Still a lot of weeds in there. There's liriope, monkey grass in here. Don't ever plant it. The stuff isn't as bad as bamboo, but it's pretty bad. The rain helped the grass grow, and it's turned a little green. We hit it with fertilizer a month or so ago. In another few weeks, we'll hit it with the second bag, because we do have a lot of dandelions and weeds still in this. And this little bed around this little pond we have, I filled that tub that was on the back of my truck up 2/3 with just the onions and weeds that came out of this bed. The only way to do it is get down on your hands and knees, get a tool that'll dig down and get the roots out. By cutting the tops off, all you're doing is making work for yourself, because you have to keep doing it. You notice right here it's a little bare. It's because we've got that tree right there. And you can see the shadow line. And it prevents these from growing any larger. This is the one that has, you can plant the seeds from the hostas. You have to pardon the scum on our palm, that's our lotus. We've had as many as 7 blooms on it. The only trouble is they shut up in the daytime, and I tell my wife sometimes during the day that the lotus had bloomed on the pond we have at home. By the time she got home to see it, it was closed up. And load them up again the next day. There's their little duck. He's been sitting there for a long time. I had to reposition him. He had fallen over. But most all the weeds are out of here. This is poor soil on the property in this little bed. We put compost in here 2 or 3 times, fertilizer, lime, everything. It's just poor soil. Weeds grow in it. But that's all. Now look at a nice big old river on a calm day. Wind's blowing pretty good, but there's Just a little light ripple action out there on the water. You can see my jetties are going to need some work. I'm hoping I can repair them. Back in '85 they were $7,500 a piece. That one and that one. So I'm hoping I can repair them a little bit. I'll give you a little scan down the river. Oh, I don't think that's a good idea. Not without a tripod. Seems like the squirrels have got into my stoplight birdhouse. Last year in the red light, part of it the bluebirds decided to nest. We have 6 bluebird boxes up. We were down here Saturday and we cleaned them up. That's one of them. We face them to the south. They seem to enjoy them being faced to the south. You can tell they're even with the camera. They're not very high off the ground. When we clean them out every year, and this year we cleaned them out. We had 2 nests of flying squirrels and 1 nuthatch, and a bird we didn't look at long enough to identify that was in the nest. It probably was a sparrow, and we had 1 of them was empty. We've seen the bluebirds here, so hopefully they'll this usually is their favorite box. The other box they like is across the street, about halfway down.